It is 8:30 in the morning here on Monday, August 11th, 2025. It's a nice and cool morning. I want to say it's 75, but it could be 80. The humidity's been coming down a lot. My wife's been complaining about how dry the air is now. And she doesn't like the air conditioner because it dries out the air even more. She's pretty sensitive to the humidity. She likes very humid weather. And I'm standing here. This is about 2/3 of the way down in the field. We're in the shade of the trees from the morning sun there, and you can see all this grass that they've hit. There's still lots of grass that they haven't hit. So tomorrow morning I'm going to move them to another row. And yeah, looks like the grazing's working. I'm going to mention on a side note here, so I had a case of flystrike. I think I did at least. So what happened was the ewe that had the prolapse that my neighbors doctored, well, she gave stillbirth to two twins, right? Which she survived, which I'm kind of surprised that she survived. We had very low expectation. We thought she had ring womb, which means that the birth canal didn't open up big enough to give birth, which would be fatal. And what you normally do is do a cesarean section, which is way beyond my pay grade, to do that successfully. So I took her home after that was discovered and put her in a pen, and I was expecting to come back to find her dead or in pain or something like that. And I was ready to, take care of the animal if she was in pain. But sure enough, she delivered the two lambs. So anyway, so I moved her back to the row, and she was aloof from the other sheep, which isn't a good sign. Normally when sheep separate themselves, that means something's terribly wrong. And you can almost set your watch. If they separate themselves, it's about 2 to 3 days, and they're gonna move on to the eternal pasture land. Let's put it that way. So anyway, she separated herself. She was with the cows, but she separated herself. I assumed that she was just antisocial because she's been away from the other sheep for so long. But then I come back and I noticed that she's missing fur from her rear half. And I think this was Saturday I noticed this. And I'm like, well, that's weird. So I catch her and look at it, and I don't really see what's wrong. But Sunday, I catch her again and look at it, and her hair is infested with fly larva, maggots. And I didn't see any open wound. I searched and searched for an open wound anywhere. And so what I think happened was, as part of the birth process, the flies started laying their eggs in her hair and just overwhelmed her. And so the fly larva, the maggots, they get in there and they start chewing on the skin. And the sheep, what her response was is to pull her hair out to get to the maggots. And she pulled out as much hair as she could, but there's like a part on her back she couldn't get. So Sunday, I want to say about 1 o'clock, 1:30. So I went in there and I tried several things. First, I tried spraying alcohol to see what would happen. And alcohol didn't do too much, honestly. Then I tried spraying, I did water. So I washed her with water very thoroughly. That didn't seem to do very much either. And I didn't have very much water with me. So then I tried iodine. And I tried this wound treatment stuff that I had on hand. And I tried a couple other products. But eventually what happened was the maggots started crawling out of the fur. They started dropping to the ground. So something they didn't like. So having run out of chemicals to try to put on my animal, I went home and I said, I'll check her first thing in the morning. So here I am in the morning, and it's kind of hard to find her. She likes to hide in the goat weed, so it's not easy to see her. But I eventually found her. I had to drive around a couple times before I found her. But all of the maggots are dead and shriveled. I didn't see any living maggots in her hair. And I came prepared with vinegar. I thought surely vinegar will do something, white vinegar. So, and I'm pretty sure vinegar won't harm the animal very much, if at all. So I think she's out of the woods with the fly strike. Now, I'm not entirely certain why she got it. I'm checking for signs in my other sheep. most of their bums are clean. You know, they don't, some of them have some old hair around their bums. And so I'm looking at their bums and I'm checking to see if they, if it's like dirty, like if there's like manure there, or if it looks wet. They say that if it looks wet, it could be fly strike. You know, but all of my sheep look clean. And I can't help but think that maybe this was a case when the the sheep was just in a weakened state, and maybe some of the birth fluids just got into her fur, and the maggots were targeting that, or the flies were targeting that. So anyway, so I'm going to keep an eye on her. It looks like she wants to rejoin the flock now, so I'm probably going to let her go back and rejoin the flock. But it looks like she's out of the woods. Now, I did a lot of research on fly strike, and by that I mean like read like 3 or 4 pages. And it looks like it's a very big problem in the UK because of their damp environment. And Australia has a problem with it too. And Australia, they do this thing called mulesing, which I don't even want to talk about. It's kind of gross. I will make a comment though. I mean, if we don't give farmers the benefit of a doubt that they're choosing the best possible way to treat their animals, I mean, why do we think we're smarter than them? Why do we think we're more compassionate than them? They're the ones actually dealing with the animals day in and day out. They see them. And when they choose an option that causes pain to the animals, it's because they're trying to avoid something bigger. And in the case of mulesing, the evidence is pretty clear. They'd rather mule their animals than see them suffer from fly strike, you know. So anyway, that's just my little note there. We should be giving each other the benefit of a doubt and saying they're doing the best with what they know, and just leaving it at that. You know, if we have opinions, we can start our own farm and we can try out things and see what happens. You know, but like telling people how to do their business is not a good approach to life. Anyway, but typically with the wool sheep, the sheep that don't shed naturally, in early summer, if you don't shave their wool, then the maggots can get inside the wool, and then it could be a problem. And it mostly just leads to poor sheep performance and occasionally to death. It's possible for the maggot load to overwhelm their system, and they can get, I think it's ammonia in their blood or something like that. And then they can die from that, you know. So anyway, that's kind of the story here. Now, I've never had an issue with that in my sheep here, and I'm kind of curious why it happened to this one animal. And so I'm just going to keep my eyes open and for the signs of it. But these sort of sheep that I have here, they don't tend to suffer from that, even though we are in a hot, humid environment, which is kind of the ideal breeding grounds for it. So anyway, I'm going to keep a close eye on this animal. I'm going to hope she recovers quickly. And then I'll let you guys know what I find out. But hopefully she'll recover. And because of the prolapse and because of everything else, you know, I hate to say it, but if she does recover and I end up selling her at the sale barn, she's going to turn into somebody's lamb burger. Alternatively, I don't sell her because I'm worried that somebody might try to breed her. And then I just turn her into dog food here in this pasture. You know, but I kind of want to keep an eye on her. I'm learning from these animals, and I hate to see them suffer. But from what I can tell, she's really not suffering that much. You know, just itches. But not anymore, you know. So anyway, guys, that's what I got for you. Have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.